which probably is a good segue to bring this topic. So, what do you think are some of the elements of a great tech product demo or great tech speak? Because you said that you have analyzed multiple people who have successfully delivered keynotes or product demos. So, maybe if you can highlight some of the key elements that you think are most important for us to know about public speaking and tech demo in general.
Yes. So yeah, I would refer more to my second book, Rock the Tech Stage, because in that one I really start to pay attention what are among every single skill or trick or secret that the speakers have in their repertoire. So what are the top? So I said, okay, I will find the top based on my analysis and I will go deeper into those for the book. So the 10 that I have in the book are, I will read it. The first is story. We have killer demos, closely related to my first book. Metaphor, data visualization, passion, props, presentation hacks, interaction, staging, and memory. So those are the 10. Now, obviously, every speaker combines a few of them. It's very rare that somebody uses the 10, but most of them have at least three very, very strongly. They really are good in at least three, four of them. And there are different combinations, of course. I'll start with the three essential secrets, and then we can go to one of the most, let's say, advanced, because there are some that are more basic that you have to have, and others who are more advanced if you want to go in one direction, specific direction. So for me, the three more essentials are, first of all, is passion, second is storytelling, and the third one is interaction. Now, passion, actually, to be very honest, when I had to deliver a book proposal to a press, I had 10 of these secrets, and passion was not there. At that time, I didn't feel it's something that we have to pay attention. But actually, when I started going deeper with the interviews, with the more analysis, yes, passion is in every single speaker needs passion, and the successful speaker have it. Now, in terms of passion, there are two names, for instance, I can mention. There's one lady called Katie Bauman. She was the leader of the team of computer scientists who created the very first image of the black hole, which was unveiled, I think, 2019, if I remember correctly. So she appeared in TEDx 2 years earlier, and she gave an amazing talk, not only explaining complex topics, these algorithms, image processing, etc., to a wide audience, very eloquent, but also she made it with an enthusiasm that you very rarely see in speakers. I mean, she was so passionate talking about the project itself with the hope that that would become a successful project, and also how she loved the space technology, etc. So she was really impressive on that. And I also noticed in some interviews when she is interviewed, the way she speaks, yeah, that passion is contagious. And there's one executive in Microsoft that is also very often praised about his passion, not only about his good presentation skills, but his passion. He is the VP of the Microsoft Surface family of products, on the tablets and other devices. So these are two persons that really stand out, and how you make sure that you show passion on your presentations. And my top tip is very simple. Speak topics that you are passionate about. Speak topics you are already passionate about, which many people actually somehow violate that rule, because sometimes for work or for any other motivation, we end up talking topics that are, for instance, trendy, maybe some trendy topic. You might think, oh, okay, this is trendy. I should know about this topic. And then I should also talk about this topic, which is it's a trap. It's a dangerous trap doing that. The best is that you just talk about what you're really passionate about, no matter how many presentations you have seen or know that there have been. There can be a topic that hundreds, thousands of speakers already talk about, but every person has a different stories, has a different experience, has a different perspective, insights. So just pick what you are really passionate about, because if you are passionate about something, you already have the stories. It's something you have already been talking with your friends, colleagues, most likely. You can easily find the story, you easily find the motivation that will lead you to success. So that is the first one, the first of these top three secrets, if we call it. The second one, now you capture the attention of the audience with your contagious passion, but also you want that at the end of your talk, people also remembers what you say. And the best tool for people to remember what you say is telling stories. Telling stories, particularly in the technology industry, I often call that we have to humanize technology with stories, because often talking about technology can be dry. It's difficult. Often it's complex. Often it's dry. It's difficult to connect. It's abstract. So that is very difficult to connect if you speak just literally trying to explain concepts in that way. So the best is to connect with the stories. That's why I call it humanized technology. Also, stories, a good reason to use stories is because they are memorable. What you want is that people not only like your story, remember your story, but they start retelling your story to others, retellability of your stories. And another element to use stories is because people, your audience, wants to know you as a person. So take that opportunity to tell also about yourself, show who you are, show your motivations, why you are speaking, why you are doing the job you do, why you are in that project. Because the more people know about you, the more people will like you. And the more they like you, they will be more willing to buy your product, try your I don't know, tool, API, or just spread your ideas. They will spread your ideas further if they know more about you. Of course, storytelling is a huge topic. So there are many things to learn. You need, for instance, collect stories, collect personal stories, collect also someone else's stories because you can use some other stories as well. And then you will have to create some sort of plot to bring some excitement, right? So I think one of the simplest plot is the setting, challenge, and resolution. So you start with like the normal, how things are normal. For then there's a challenge, some problem, and then there is a resolution. So how you or your product is solving that product. So has to be some storytelling arc there. So there are several elements. There's a lot of really great books about storytelling, go very, very deep. So I absolutely recommend you to keep learning. I mean, there are so many of these books about storytelling that I recommend you to just to get acquainted with that because the tool is super important. It's probably the most important tool that you can use. And then besides the stories, one thing that has become also very important, more important than ever, especially in the last, let's say, 4 years, 3, 4 years, that we are having a lot of remote presentations, virtual presentation, online conferences. We need to interact with the audience better because it's so easy in this virtual context that often you don't see your audience. You don't see your audience, so it's very, very difficult to know what they are doing, to know if they are engaged, how you can react. So it's very difficult in both directions. For the audience, for instance, it's more easy to get distracted. And for the presenter, it's also, yeah, it feels so weird not get the feedback, not see the faces. There are, of course, some tools that help you to do that. One tool, very simple, is about use of questions. You can use call and response questions in which you ask a question. There is one talk by Craig Young. He starts with a question something like, how many of you have been in a talk about writing code? He posts, and of course, some people raise their hand, some say yes. Yeah, that's the response. And then he said, how many of you have been in a talk about refactoring code? Similarly, you get some response from the audience. And he uses that type of dynamic for the rest of the talk. And then he uses a different type of question as well. He says something like this: what if you were optimizing from the very beginning to be able to delete code? That's another question. And in that question, he doesn't expect an answer. He expects that the audience, by hearing that question, to say, what if? Okay, let me think. So that is the reaction that he expects from their audience. And by having this reaction, the audience will be more connected. They connect back, you engage back your audience. So those are called rhetorical questions. You don't expect an answer. You expect the audience to start reflecting, and that's the power to keep them engaged. So those are the two main type of questions that you can use. There are of course others. Besides that, of course, there's a lot of interactive polls and more technical ways to engage the audience. Absolutely, that is very useful, of course. And as far as the technology works, because sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, those are very good. But I say the basics are very important. And also, one final thing about audience interaction, especially in the virtual environments, is that try to look at the camera because you only see the camera when you interact with the virtual conference tool as much as you can, which is a skill that we are not trained for that. We have not been trained for that. I mean, only the TV anchors, the TV people, they are used to be looking all the time on the camera, but the rest of us not. So that's a skill that we need to try and become better. So these are, I would say, the top three tools: passion, storytelling, and interaction.
Wow, I think when you explain all these three tips, right, I can relate to my public speaking experience as well. So maybe if we can just go slightly deeper one by one. Passion. I have experience also before giving a talk on some topics or product that I wasn't really passionate about, I think the result was something different actually. Yeah, you can tell if the speaker doesn't have energy, or you can also feel that you cannot engage the audience much better compared to if you are talking about something that you're really passionate about. So I think you give a very good tips such that we should actually give presentation or talk or demo if we are passionate about the topic or the product, right? I mean, you can try bringing up topic that you probably don't have passion about, but I think the people can tell. And even for yourself, you can also tell that the energy might not be there when you speak about it.